We're only a month into 2022 and Game Freak has already released possibly the best Pokemon game in recent memory. The first part of this review will be spoiler free, so enjoy! Pokemon Legends Arceus is everything I've wanted in a Pokemon game. An open world experience focused on catching Pokemon and exploring the diverse region. Growing up watching Pokemon Arceus the Jewel of Life, I've loved the look of the primitive Pokeballs and trying to show the first iterations of the Pokeball that we know. Once again, we have a reimagination of the early Pokeballs. The Pokeball now looks like the combination of an apricorn and a tumblestone, the two ingredients required to make it. This makes sense to shift from the industrial looking Pokeball that we all know. The crafting system is simple, but it's all that it needs. It complements the new open world to further motivate the player to explore, but it still works within the context of Pokemon as your Pokemon help you gather resources. The gameplay is by far the best gameplay we've ever had in a main series Pokemon game. It's easy to get lost in the first area, barely touching the plot, and just focusing on exploring and catching all the Pokemon in that area. The ability to catch a Pokemon unaware and the introduction to a stealth mechanic expands the catching mechanic more than just get the Pokemon to low health and repeatedly throw balls at it until it catches. Instead, the game prioritizes distracting wild Pokemon using berries and lures, and then throwing the Pokeball at their back to get an increased catch rate. Along with the stealth mechanic, the introduction to a dodge roll allowed wild Pokemon to use their attacks in the overworld and attack the player character. This can turn early game Pokemon into terrifying enemies, terrorizing you both in and out of battle. The introduction to all these new mechanics makes for an engaging experience which you can spend hours invested in, which is a massive pull factor for a lot of the Pokemon community. If you've looked at reviews of Pokemon Legends Arceus online, you've probably heard the issues that many players have had with their graphics. To their credit, the mountains, grass, and other environment meshes don't look good, especially at short distances. Certainly, they don't hold up to the level of games like Breath of the Wild or even the other Pokemon games on the Switch. However, Pokemon games have never had their graphics as their main selling point. The main selling point of Pokemon games has and always will be the Pokemon, and Pokemon Legends Arceus has certainly delivered on Pokemon. I'll be honest, I really like this game, and I think it's a great installment of the Pokemon franchise, but it isn't without its issues. As previously mentioned, I don't have an issue with the game's graphics, but I do have a problem with the game's rendering. The environment, especially the mountains, seem to constantly be rendering and changing before your eyes. This doesn't affect gameplay, but it can sometimes ruin your immersion if you really look for it. However, the new battle system needs a rework if they're going to continue it in for future games. I love the concept moving towards more of a real-time strategy, and it works for the style of the game that they are going for. However, the turn order doesn't make any sense, and once a Pokemon is switched out or is knocked out, the turn order previously built up just seems to reset, and turns just get given out randomly regardless of what's happened previously. If you want a more in-depth coverage of this, I would recommend checking out Wolf Eagle's video on this. I will leave it in the description. He'll break it down way better than I could ever break down in a video like this. From this point onwards, there might be spoilers for the game, so if you want to avoid spoilers, please click off now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. For the rest of you, the plot's coming up right now. It's refreshing to have a Pokemon game with a good story. It's the only Pokemon game to have a main character who isn't infallible, with a plot driven by characters with good motivations and personalities. It was really heartbreaking when Kamado banishes you out of the village. It's an excellent way to humanize your player character. This game, like many others, sets your character up as being better at everything than everyone else, and it's refreshing to see that challenged for once. Having ancestors of already known characters such as Cynthia, Mars, Clay, Cyrus, Serena, Rowan, and many more is a nice Easter egg to some of the characters we already know. It's also good to see that some of the characters' personalities carried over, such as Volo having Cynthia's curiosity, and Colza being Jubilife's farmer, setting up Gardenia as the grass-type gym leader. For the first time in a Pokemon game, there are genuine twists. with Kamado banishing you from the village and Benny working for Kamado plotting against you, as well as two of the bandits that have been harassing you all game being part of the Diamond and Pearl clan, respectively. I don't think Benny's character arc was set up as well as it could have been, however I still think Game Freak playing around with more dynamic characters is a step in the right direction. The last major gameplay shift from the other Pokemon games is the replacements of gyms and trials with frenzied Pokemon battles. These battles fully utilize the free movement and dodge mechanics, giving a traditional boss fight seen in games like Dark Souls. These battles add a challenge not previously seen in Pokemon games, and introduce an exciting reimagination of a major battle from just a high-level trainer with better AI. Chances are, if you're a Pokemon fan, you've already bought this game and mostly completed it, at least. But suppose you're waiting for initial impressions, or someone trying to get into the Pokemon games again, or for the first time. If it's either of those cases, I could not recommend this game enough, and I highly recommend you consider buying it. So, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, check the description for any source file that I might have used, and please go and check out Paleocryptic Art, who did the amazing drawing of Volo on Instagram, link in the description. Bye!